Emma Clay. Oh, yeah.
Gosh, yeah, you've got a week.
Get myself organized. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
My name is Sandy Spurgeon, and I'm the platform assistant for Reverend Jerry today. And we have our beautiful Kelly Garmeyer here today to sing her beautiful music and fill our hearts with so much joy. And speaking of joy, it's so joyful to welcome all of you in the sanctuary and see all your beautiful faces. And your smiling eyes, since I cannot see your mouth. It's beautiful to see you here, and I welcome all those who are on Zoom here today as well. So welcome, welcome on this gorgeous sunny day. So we're going to begin with the lighting of the Christ candle. In the beginning was the one presence of the undivided and unmanifest pure spirit of light, life, light, and love. In its generosity, it shared itself, its consciousness, and its love in the visible form of creation. We acknowledge this presence within us and as us, the creative energy of the divine feminine and masculine, expressing in all our giftedness and creativity. We acknowledge this presence in our companion Mother Earth and in all sentient beings. This universal presence in everything we call the Christ. We light this candle as a visible reminder of that Christ presence, expressing in, as, and through us in this present now moment. It is the truth. Let us own it. And now we have our opening song, I Do What Gives Me Life. Please stand. Pardon me? Okay. Please stand, everyone.
Are you worn out? Okay, well, welcome. It is so great to see so many people back, several people back for their very first time since March 2000. Yay! We have missed you, but every Sunday there's a few more and a few more and a few more, so this is wonderful. Thank you. Okay, so our theme today is living life and being happy anyway. It's a tall order, I know, but it is week 6 of our 7-week program from Michael Singer and the Untethered Soul. And we're going to explore then how we're going to be happy anyway. So I want to start with a poem again this morning. And this is another poem from Hafiz, who lived from about 1320 to 1380 or something like that. So you think about the great wisdom of these mystics way back then. There were people who were on the planet who definitely were in non-dual thinking. And this speaks, I think, to this thing about living life and happiness. And the name of the poem is Each Soul Completes Me. That means you and me. My beloved said, "My name is not complete without yours." I thought, how could a human's worth ever be such? And God, knowing all thoughts, and all our thoughts are innocent steps on the path, then addressed my heart. God revealed a sublime truth to the world when it sang, "I am made whole by your life. Each soul completes me." You think of how beautiful that is, that piece of poetry, that thought that each one of us completes God, that without one of us, it's not complete. And then you contrast that with all the garbage that we've been fed about God, all of the things that have put us in opposition to God or God in opposition to us. And here's this profound thought reverberating down through the centuries to us, to remind us that this is how precious we are. This is how precious we are, just as precious as that little baby back there. Beautiful little baby. And God sees us as that innocent little baby and we complete the divine. That's how we can live life to the full, and that's how we can be in a state of happiness, right? Right. And so as we start out in that place of valuing each life, we enter into our time of prayer for all those who have asked for prayer again this week. And we open ourselves not to what we know about ourselves or each other, but what is still to be revealed, that great innocence and mystery that's unfolding in our lives. And so we start by praying for Pat Lind Kyle, who is doing much better. We pray for Jerry Henderson, for Betty Harding, Natalie Meyer, Amy Donaldson, Leah Doherty, for Samani Kaiaya, Casey Kress, Joshua Coons, Justin Becker, Crystal, Charlie and Will McBride, Larry Holman, Ralph Rose, Greg Archibald, Paul Spoto, John and Claudia Martin, Paxton Baker, Rumi Daw, Michelle Demarest, Mike and Candy, Rob and Blenna, Paul, Diana Dyer, Marlene, Umberto Torres, Judith and Larry, Anthony Cortez, Anita, Bill Fingerson, for Sandy's grandniece Emma Clay and her family. We continue to pray for Heather Brown and her family. For who else do we want to pray, if you'd like to say their names out loud at this time? And we pray together, there is only one presence and one power, active as the universe and as our lives, the all-loving goodness of God, and all is well. And we listen now for the daily word for today, read to us by Sandy.
The daily word today is divine order. I live in harmony with divine order. Life is in constant motion, even if that motion is imperceptible to me. When I feel stuck in place or impatient with my progress, I consider the gradual yet orderly pattern of the seasons as they change. The single golden leaf I notice one day will become part of a blaze of color just a few weeks later. The brisk chill in the morning air soon will lead to biting cold and snow. The first tender seedlings of spring bring bright blooms and a verdant canopy followed by the long, sultry days of summer. Little by little, one season turns into the next. My growth and understanding may happen in much the same way. Even if I don't notice changes day to day, my life is always in motion and in order. So you can repeat with me, if you would. I live in harmony with divine order. I live in harmony with divine order. Amen. So now we're going to move into our time of meditation. And in coming to this meditation, I was really reflecting on how can we find happiness when things around us don't feel so happy, when we don't always feel so happy when we're dealing with challenges. And the answer came to me that it's about relaxing, surrendering, and allowing. So I hope that this meditation will help put you in that space. So let us begin. Take a moment to center yourself and make yourselves comfortable in your chairs or at home. And gently close your eyes. Bringing your attention to your breath, experience your body as your breath, as you breathe in and out. With each inhale, feel expansion, the expansion of your stomach, your chest. And with each exhale, release any tension or tightness in the body. Now just breathe gently with ease. Allow each breath to move you more deeply into a relaxed state of being. Sense how your breath supports you without any conscious effort. Let each exhale be an invitation to surrender and to connect more deeply with your center without having to force anything. Just gently breathing at your own pace, allowing, being, surrendering. I invite you now to call to mind a joyful experience from your past or from your this present time. An experience that led you to feel a genuine feeling of happiness and joy. Just reflect on that for a moment. This memory could be of a person, a pet, a place. Tune into the happiness, and as you do, feel the sensation it creates inside of your being as you bring it to mind. Where does happiness live within you? What does happiness feel like in your body? Does it have a color or a sensation? Whatever comes to you, breathe it in. Let it build up within you. And breathe it out on the exhale, sending it throughout your whole body. Now moving your attention from the reason that you experience this happiness or this great joy. Simply focus on the feeling itself. Let it be just for the sake of being. Unconditional happiness expands and grows freely, without reason and without cause. It just is. So using your imagination, see and feel the sensations of happiness grow with every breath in, and relax into it on every breath out. Allow a natural smile to come to your face as you open to the flow of unconditional happiness to light up within you. Let this happiness expand not only within your mind and heart, but also let it float through you, as you, into the space around you, and out as far as you can imagine. Simply enjoy this for the next few minutes. Feel how refreshed you feel with this happiness, letting your body feel happy for no reason and without efforting. This well of unconditional happiness resides within you in each and every moment, with each and every breath. May happiness flow effortlessly from the center of your being into your day with each calming breath. May each and every being share in this radiant happiness and peace. So gently begin to bring yourself back into the space. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes and be fully present right here and now. And you can remain in this state of stillness, or if you'd like to open your eyes, and Kelly's going to play another song for us. Feeling good today.
Today, I am feeling good today. God inside is lighting up my way, and I can see that light in your eyes too, and I'm feeling good today. Feeling good today.
Right, sound check. You guys hear me okay? Yeah, very good. I just had a memory come to me as I was listening to the song. This is several years back, and we were singing this song a lot, and it was maybe a half an hour before the service, and this woman came through the door, and we had the PowerPoint up. You were practicing, and she said, "Oh no, not that song, I hate it." Oh, I guess maybe she needed that song more than. But it's interesting. Something as simple as a song like that can tell us a lot about what's going on within us. You know, you may have a sort of reaction to it, a resistance to it, or whatever, or you may feel, you know, euphoric. You may just be in the zone of being happy and joyful, or you may find yourself during the song suddenly have a little bit of a shift. Hopefully that's what happened. So today is living life and choosing happiness anyway. So we have some newer people here, and I just want to do a very quick recap of the last few weeks. This is week 6 of our 7-week program. And we're studying a book by Michael Singer called The Untethered Soul. We studied this 11 years ago, and we decided we wanted to study it again. And so in the first week, we looked at awakening our consciousness by realizing who we are. You know, in some traditions, that's the question that you keep asking yourself every day. Who am I? And what Michael Singer invites us to do is to identify with the soul, with the seat of the soul, as he says. And then in week 2, we looked at the way that energy moves or gets blocked within us. And we set up a goal of keeping our hearts open, because that was the key. If we could keep our hearts open, then energy could flow through us. If our hearts shut down, then we got blocked and energy was stuck in us. In week 3, we looked at how to free ourselves by removing these thorns that he talks about, the problems that we have come up with that are stuck in us, and how we could do that. And then in week 4, he further developed this idea of how we might free ourselves to be able to sit in the seat of the soul, because things like those thorns and problems, they're the things that block us from being in touch with our soul. And last week, Barb talked about the concept of going beyond the mental construct that we make up for ourselves about reality. And Singer describes it as, you know, this house that we build, and we keep building stronger walls and better windows and doors, and then we have safe rooms, and suddenly we're blocking the light because fear is now what's driving the construction of this mental construct that we have about our lives. And so then we become imprisoned by our thoughts and our mind. So today we move on to the next section of the book. And this really is about a spiritual practice or a spiritual path. And as we know, some people go to great lengths to discover or to find a spiritual path or a spiritual practice. Many people leave behind their childhood religions and go on long journeys. Some have gone out into the desert, as we know, down through the centuries, to get away from society, to get away from other people, so that they can focus on a spiritual path. Well, personally, that sounds a bit extreme, to me at least, and it often seems like it's more of an avoidance of life and people than anything else. It's as if people are saying, well, God can only be found someplace special, someplace outside of your day-to-day life, and especially other people. And it's a great question to ask ourselves, isn't it? I think it's fundamental. Where do we find the divine? That's really one of the first questions, along with who am I, that we kind of need to ask ourselves. And I remember back in 1976, when I went to seminary first, a friend of mine introduced me to some Irish poetry by Patrick Kavanagh. And this one verse became a mantra for me and a sort of a guiding post as I tried to figure out and evolve my understanding of the divine and evolve my spirituality and my spiritual path. And it's from a poem called The Great Hunger. You've heard me quote this over the years, but I'm going to quote it again. He says, "Men build their heavens as they build their circle of friends. God is in the bits and pieces of every day. A kiss here, a laugh again, and sometimes tears. A pearl necklace around the neck of poverty." Really beautiful, profound words. And again, that was written back, I think, in about 1950 in Ireland, in what was not a great enlightened time, really, in society. But again, you have these wonderful poets and mystics who touched into these things. And so Kavanagh is saying that, we can have this sense of ourselves that is so lacking, it feels so poor and so negative perhaps, and yet he says wrapped around that is a great pearl necklace of the divine. Now we may say that it's even interwoven, that it's not just something on the surface like a necklace, but it's actually embedded in us. And we'll be talking more about that during the season of Advent that's right around the corner, about embedded theology, incarnation, God in us. But I'm getting a little ahead of myself. But the great truth, the great hunger that he's talking about is this hunger for discovering the divine. And that's what Michael Singer is trying to help us with. And in truth, our life is our ashram. It is our monastery. It's not someplace else, someone else, or anything like that. It's right here, right now, as you look around you this morning. This is your ashram. These are your fellow monks and nuns and whatever. And Singer says that in the end, in his understanding of things, in his viewpoint, there is one spiritual practice, you can call it a path, that we can all choose to follow that leads us to inner peace. Because peace really is the goal. We want to live our lives from this place of peace. It isn't a choice about following a particular religion or a guru or a text. Rather, it's the answer to a very simple question. And the question is, do you want to be happy? Okay, we have one person who wants to be happy. Kelly, could you come back up and sing the song again? I think we have a little bit of work to do with the rest. Most people don't understand that it's a choice that we can make for ourselves. It's really within our control. I know it sounds fantastic or it sounds stupid even on one level, yet if we ask ourselves, what prevents us from being happy? It's not other people, and it's not their behavior, but it's our own set of deeply held preferences. I want it this way, I don't want it that way. And unless it is this way, the way I want it, I'm not going to be happy. And by the way, neither are you. I will make sure of that. So the question again is, how much do we want to be happy? Or are we caught up in our unhappiness so much that that's what's bringing us a certain degree of happiness, being unhappy? So if the answer is yes, that you want to be happy, he says, then say it without qualification, meaning I want to be happy from this point forward for the rest of my life, regardless of what happens. That's a big one. Now, you could say maybe he's just using hyperbole, maybe he's just exaggerating to make a point. And, we can go along with that. It really sort of startles us, doesn't it, to have someone say to us, make a choice. What do you want? You want to be happy? Be happy. And he says this is both a spiritual practice and it's a spiritual path. And you see, it's not a question of whether your happiness is under your control, because of course it is. It's the question of whether we are willing to give up the qualifiers we have attached to our happiness. Our answer to the question about whether we want to be happy has to be unconditional. No conditions. Happy except in that circumstance. And if we can say yes to that question without qualification, Singer says that not only will we be happy, but we will be enlightened. He says this is the byproduct of choosing to be happy, enlightenment. And so in the group last Tuesday morning, we spent some time talking about these things. What is a spiritual path? And what does it mean to be enlightened? Again, these are really good questions to ask ourselves. And, we realized that as we talked in the group, it's like we have this fantastic idea about what enlightenment is. Oh, we'll be, floating. We'll be out of our bodies or something, and we'll be, No, that's not enlightenment. Enlightenment is right now someone is really pushing your buttons and you're saying, not going there. I'm going to stay in my happy place right here, and they can do whatever they want to do. So this is key, enlightenment, happiness. The choice for happiness can bring enlightenment. What makes this path the highest or most direct is the unconditional aspect of our commitment to our happiness. So if we choose this path, we can make a vow to always be happy no matter what. Now, as you know, in most religious traditions, there are people who make vows, renunciates. Some people are stupid enough to make a vow of celibacy, but eventually they wake up. For those of you who don't get the inside joke, I was a Catholic priest. Yeah. And I shouldn't mock people. There are some people who are called to celibacy, and that's fine. They make a vow. So we have to be careful about taking on vows, don't we? Lots of people make vows and then find they can't keep the vow. But again, it's sort of putting it at that level. Like you have to take this that seriously. If you're committed to your happiness, are you willing to make a vow about it? That I will be happy no matter what. And so when something happens then that isn't to our liking or something disturbs us, we get to choose whether we are willing to break the vow because this thing happened that I don't like. So my commitment is being put to a test. We get to choose to give up our chance for happiness and peace of mind to feel something else that has become habitual to us, that we're sort of addicted to. There is what psychologists call an internal locus of control at play here, meaning that we get to choose in here our state of being, happy, unhappy. The choice is ours. Unfortunately, most of the time, we're doing that unconsciously. And so again, Singer is saying, if you're in touch with your soul, you will start to do this more consciously. And that's what we're all looking for. And he further says that in order to be happy, we must choose to let go the part of us that wants to create melodrama. Okay, so we're having to deal with the drama queen in all of us. We're having to confront that and say, is this what I want or not? And that's the part that thinks, there's a really good reason for me to be unhappy. I am entitled to be unhappy based on that person's behavior, what they said to me, what they did to me. Okay, your choice. A friend of mine posted something on Facebook this past week that felt like it was written just for today's talk, so I want to share it with you. And it says, "In pain, weary, can't go on anymore. Too much work, too much suffering, too much trying to fix everything in me. Too many years of doing this releasing, healing work. My heart is worn out. I just can't take it anymore." And then suddenly, Yeshua is there with me. He asks, "Are you happy?" "No," I replied. "You could be," he says. "But I thought I had to be down here looking at and working through all of my blocks. For years now, I've been doing whatever it took to let go of them." He says, "Do you want the peace and happiness of God?" "Yes, but I'm so tired of working on these issues, so tired of fighting this all the time." "Then let the internal fight go. Let working on blocks go. Give the blocks to me. Crying, I say, 'Yes, please, take them.' And I just let go. I give up. Literally, just hand the thoughts, the fear, the pain up to him. So relieved." "Watch this," he says. And with a knowing twinkle in his eye, receiving the blocks from me, holding them in his hands, there's a fading out, and then they just disappear. Not even a shadow left, just gone. Simple, quick, easy, in 2 seconds. What I've been working on for months and years is gone. Yeshua smiles at me. "Now, beloved one, that is the key. What would make you happy right now?" "Well, I guess to eat dinner and read a book." "Then do that," he says. "If you want to feel peace and happiness, you need to spend much more time in peace and happiness. Joy begets joy. Love extends into more love. Peace enfolds and encompasses all in a peaceful state. Spend your days and moments, and eventually your life will be in that place. And if you feel a disturbance to your peace of mind or to your peaceful heart coming up, then let it go. Give it up to me, and I will disappear it. This is my gift of love to you. It's much easier to release the blocks than you think. I can help you in any way you need at any time." And bowing slightly to me, he gives me a knowing smile, seeing that I've gotten the lesson, and then he disappears too. And so this beautiful piece is really talking about surrendering to the divine in us. I'm getting waves from the back row back there. People are saying, right on. So, it may not be Yeshua for you. You may not have that strong connection to him. It could be Kuan Yin, the mother of all sorrows. It could be Mary. It could be Archangel Michael, or it could be some being that you're connected to. But simply connect with the divine in whatever form from that other dimension. And joining together with them, give over this stuff that's driving us all crazy. Now, circling back to the reading material from this past week, or actually to week 2, we are reminded that how we stay happy is not to close our hearts. So again, we have to bring that piece of the puzzle forward, reminding us to leave our hearts open. If you want happiness, then keep your heart open and resist the temptation to close it against people or circumstances, which is basically to affirm that you want to be at peace always and to appreciate life in the here and now. And remember that we stay open by letting go and releasing the tendency to close. Very simple. Singer asks a great question in the book. He says, "Do you think God likes to be around people who are unhappy?" He says the greatest gift we can give back to the divine is to be pleased with God's creation. In other words, to have a sense of contentment, appreciation, of gratitude, of peace about all of this. Guess who God wants to hang out with? The same people you want to hang out with, because you are the divine. The yogic tradition describes God as Sat Chit Ananda, meaning God is eternal, conscious bliss. So God is eternal, God is conscious, awake and aware, and God is bliss. That's who and what we are. That's what we can discover in the seat of the soul that Singer talks about. If you want to know what it feels like to be God, then start to explore things like joy or happiness. Because God is ecstasy. God is as high as it gets. Why do you think people want to get high? Because it's our nature to be high. It's just that sometimes we choose the wrong ways to try to get high. There's a fake way, but then there's a real way. And the real way involves being in touch with our soul. This past Friday, I got to listen to a podcast. Angela Apostal recommended it to me during the week. And it was an interview by Joe Rogan, who I've never listened to, doing an interview with Jewel, the singer Jewel. How many people know Jewel? Yay, wonderful. Who Will Save My Soul? That's one of her first songs. This was an amazing interview. It's like Michael Singer speaking as her. And when she was 16 years of age, her life was already pretty dramatic and painful. She grew up on a homestead in Alaska with, I think it was 4 other sisters and 2 brothers. But the girls had to do everything that the boys did because this was homesteading. This is what you did. So she skinned animals, she learned how to build things, all of that stuff. It was very demanding. There was no plumbing. Her mom decided to abandon them at 8 years of age. You know, she's sitting in the back of the car and she sees her mom waving. It's like, that's when she found out that her mom wasn't coming back to the homestead. And then her dad had sort of a bit of a breakdown and he started beating her and, you know, all sorts of emotional abuse there. And so she left home, I think she was 17 or so, and fended for herself. She had some very challenging times. She was homeless. And yet, one day she sat on a bluff looking at the ocean. And she watched the waves coming in and going out. And she said, I've got to figure this out. What's wrong with my mind? What's wrong with my life? And how do I find happiness? This is 17 years of age, right? She figured it out. She would listen to her thoughts and she said, well, that's what's causing me to be unhappy. So how could I turn that around and find happiness? And I mean, a lot happened. She was homeless again in San Diego. She was almost died in the parking lot of a hospital because they wouldn't take her in to treat her. This doctor comes out, gives her an antibiotic, saves her life. And her mom comes back into her life. Over 10 years, her mom embezzles $100 million from her. And she said in all of that, when she was, you know, when she got discovered and she's dealing with the big record companies and everything, she said, my priority always was one thing. It wasn't money, it wasn't fame. I was dedicated to being a singer-songwriter, and I was dedicated to being happy. 16, 17, 18, she figured that out. And she committed her life going forward then, in every situation that she would find herself in, to being happy. And when she last discovered that there was 100 million missing, it was like, she wasn't unhappy because it wasn't what she was doing with her career. It wasn't about the money. So if you get a chance, I would recommend, I had to download the app Spotify. It's a free app. And it's a 3-hour, 40 minutes interview. But fortunately, you can speed it up. You can have it at 1.5, where it kind of goes a little faster. And then when we get to something really good, I'd slow it down again. But here's a living example of someone really wise who figured it out at 16, 17 years of age. You know, I could look back at myself at 16, 17 and go, and what were you doing? But that's not the point. The point is that all of us are being invited to come to that type of understanding and commitment in our lives, to find happiness and to choose to be happy. Amen. Thank you. All right, what's next? All right. So moving on to our power statement for November. It's about the power of release, which is what we're talking about. It's releasing all those preconditions. Whatever I release will bless me. Together, whatever I release will bless me. And so there's our power word for this month. All right. And we come to that point in the service, as always, where we are grateful for our blessings, individually, collectively, as this unity community. And I invite you to maybe put your hands over your heart. If you have your offering, just hold it. If you're giving with someone, you can hold hands. We enter into that energy of gratitude and of blessing and of prosperity and abundance. There's so much that is right about our lives, in spite of everything else. And I invite us together to say our love offering. My heart is open to receive and grateful for all my good. I give fearlessly and with love. If you're going to give, do it in love. All right, and Kelly has a song for us at this time.
Growing love, we're forever growing love. It's a seed that we can sow. With our caring, it will grow. We are family, we are friends, and the feeling never ends. Together we're forever growing love. We seek the sunshine, we bless the rain. Through the storms we know the sun will shine again. We have God light in our hearts. We're growing up, illumined from the start. Growing love, we're forever growing love. It's a seed that we can sow. With our caring, it will grow. We are family, we are friends, and the feeling never ends. Together we're forever growing love. We imagine a world of peace, and we know someday our dreams will be released. All we ask is that people care. We sing this song for people everywhere. Growing love, we're forever growing love. It's a seed that we can sow. With our caring, it will grow. We are family, we are friends, and the feeling never ends. Together we're forever growing love. Together we're forever growing love.
Beautiful. Thank you, Kelly. That's one of my favorite songs. Yeah, it's got that country and western twang. Yeah. So we come to the time now of announcements. And yesterday we did our first cleanup on Brunswick from Greenhorn all the way out to the Y. And we had a team of 12 people, 8. And so we had Peter and Claire and Jody back there. Yeah, I couldn't be there. I had a previous engagement, unfortunately. Oh, and Ed. Yes, Ed. And we picked up 4 or 5 bags of trash out there. So we're contributing. This is our service to the community. So we will be doing this again, probably the first week, end of March. And it's probably about an hour. Was it time-wise? 2? Okay, very good. So you can sign up again next time. I mean, everybody else, not necessarily you guys. You can always sign, but yeah. So this is a year of renewal, transformation, awakening, healing, and wonder. So each week you can always pick one of those things. This might be a week of wonder. And the inspiring women, led by the fearless Kathy Lee Knight, who is here with us this morning. Yay, Kathy Lee. Have put some events on the calendar. One is next Sunday from 2 to 4 p.m. here in the sanctuary. Inspiring stories. Bring a teacup and a tea bag and listen to some wonderful stories. Share. So put that in your calendar. All right, so our change for change, if you have loose change again in your car or at home, bring it in, put it in the basket, and it will go to the food bank of Nevada County. And you may have noticed on your way in that we have barrels in the hallway. Someone again stole our barrels that we had last year. You know, we have this kleptomaniac in our midst who thinks nothing of taking things. Amazing, isn't it? And anyway, we got some more barrels. We put them out there in the hallway, and we invite you to bring stuffing and canned goods. And all of this will be delivered to the food bank in time for their Thanksgiving baskets. And then we will continue all the way to Christmas, and we will collect food for the Interfaith Food Bank. So this month, change goes to Food Bank of Nevada County. Next month, it will go to the Interfaith Food Bank. All right. And volunteering, yes. Big round of applause to our new camera person, Karen Hyatt. We have lots of openings, greeters at the door, camera, sound upstairs. So please join in, because some of our volunteers are really being stressed out. They're on the schedule too many times, too short periods together. So we need some more people. So please volunteer. All right. Okay, we come to the end of the service. So a big, huge thank you to Kelly Garmar, as always. I want to say Kelly Ray Garmar, you know, after that country little bit there, Kelly Ray or something, you know, like that. All right, thanks, Kelly. So if you want to stand and pray our unity prayer together. Thank you, too, for the meditation, Sandy. All right. Together. The light of God surrounds us. I am the light of God. The love of God enfolds us. I am the love of God. The power of God protects us. I am the power of God. The presence of God watches over us. I am the presence of God. Wherever we are, God is, because I am, and all is well. And let us sing our closing song, I Choose Love and Peace, and all those good things. Son. I choose love. Peace for our planet is growing because we choose love. Let love be present, it's what we're made of. We choose love. We are a part of each other. We are one. One choice unites us. Let this be the one. We choose love. We choose love. We choose love. Even Tiger is singing that one. Make it a great week. Choose peace, joy, happiness.